What's up, guys? I'm Mike from Stocked Up, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. We had a crazy day in the market today. The Dow fell over 400 points, and the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ slipped too. So I'm sure a lot of people were expecting an update in the market today, but we had the exact opposite. We had a pretty big red day in the market today. Like I said, the Dow fell about 400 points, which is about 1.5%. And the NASDAQ fell actually right about 2%. So we had a pretty bad day in the market overall, but we did have some important information with PTON earnings, as well as some news for the market overall. So make sure you stick around to the end of the episode. We have a lot to cover. And at the end of the episode, we have a $5.4 million put option that we're eyeing for next week. So make sure you stick around. And guys, don't forget, if you aren't subscribed already, don't forget to subscribe to see our daily videos on your YouTube homepage every single day. But let's get right into it. So Tom, what major news happened in the market today?
Peloton crushed estimates today, and really you can see that their stock actually didn't move too much yet in after hours, which is pretty surprising. But their sales surged up 172%, and they also put out a fantastic outlook for 2021, signaling that their sales will not slow down. And this is a pretty fantastic service, and you can pretty much pay a monthly fee, like around $50 to $75, depending on what type of service you get with them. And then they will pretty much send you like a one of those bikes that people like ride at their house, to go ahead and work out with. And really, it's just been a great company since they've started, and their sales are just really surging. And on a 5-year daily chart, you can really see that their sales have been surging, with their stock price rising from about $17.70 all the way up to $98 from the low up to the high. And this is really a great rise out of, one of these companies. And really, this is coming as a lot of people can't go to the gym anymore. A lot of gyms are shut down. I know that they're starting to reopen, but even though they're open, a lot of people are still kind of scared to go back.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think COVID definitely benefited PTON. Of course, obviously not everyone is returning to their normal habits with going to the gym, and a lot of people are just sticking to the at-home workouts, and this is really where PTON specializes in. So they're definitely benefiting from COVID, and you can definitely tell that from their stock price. Like you said, from lows of about $18 to highs of about 98. So overall, they had some amazing growth for the past 6 months. So, and then they killed it on earnings, right?
Yeah, they killed it. And really, since they've grown so much over the past year, that could be why they're not flying on these earnings right now.
Yeah, like you said, they had great earnings, but they're already up so much. So, they had good earnings, but they could only go up so much in, the given time frame. So they're doing great, but let's not forget that they went from $18 to $98 in less than 6 months. So really the people who are going to suffer on PTON are the people who are speculating on their options, because, PTON is up in after hours right now, but for this earnings play, really anyone who bought the calls or the puts it's not going to be good for them tomorrow, because PTON didn't really move up enough where the calls will benefit, and of course they're up, so the puts are going to get crushed too. So anyone who really had options ahead of this earnings release, it's not looking too good for them. Hopefully though, we can get a larger move before open, so anyone who is holding options on them can hopefully get some profit out of that. So what other major news happened in the market today?
Yeah, the Dow is actually down 400 points as the markets fell again today. We were wondering if the market would continue to fall, or if it would kind of hold these levels, and it seems it's really continuing to fall. And if the Dow falls below, the lows of $27,185 again, I could really see the Dow almost falling off. It seems like that, obviously we had those 3 terrible days, and then, yesterday we kind of came back up, but then today, we're almost back down to the same levels we were. And this was kind of expected, because whenever you see these big, red candles, then you see a small green candle follow it usually. And that's just what's been going on in the market now. And we're kind of really at those key levels now. And, tomorrow might be the make it or break it day. I mean, if we fall below 27,185, I mean, just based off a daily chart, I mean, there's just so much room for these stocks to move to the downside that, it's just kind of crazy. But especially with all the news and stuff coming out right now about the government and stimulus checks and stuff like that we'll cover later in the episode.
For sure. So, like we talked about in yesterday's episode, the market is at a very critical point right now. It really needs to hold these levels, and if it can't, there's a lot of downside because we've had the market really explode up for the past couple months. But let's keep in mind that we are coming in to the election, right? Election season is very soon. And like you said about the political news that we're going to talk about in like a minute, there's a lot of things heating up right now. So to see the market kind of struggling at the levels it's currently at, it's not looking too good. The tech explosion is really calming down. The NASDAQ was at, the QQQ, I should say, was at around $303 last week. Right now it's sitting at 272. Tesla had its worst day ever. What was that, on Tuesday? They were down like 20%. So overall, tech stocks are really taking a beating, and it's affecting the market overall. I mean, look at Apple. They gapped up today, but they ended up closing below the lowest point of yesterday. So what I'm trying to say is there's a lot of downwards momentum in the market right now, especially in the tech sector, and that's heavily influencing the market in a bad way. So right now, it really looks like we're going to slide past those lows that we saw this week, and kind of looks like the market's going to continue down. So I'll let you cover more in depth with that political news.
Yeah, there was some politics coming out of Washington today that CNBC reported on, and they're pretty much saying that while negotiations over the next coronavirus stimulus bill have carried on for months, there has been one certainty. Democrats, Republicans, and President Trump have all backed sending out a second $1,200 stimulus check. But now it's actually not certain that those payments will actually go out. The Senate failed to move a Republican bill forward on Thursday that included about $500 billion in new aid. This bill did not receive the 60 votes needed to pass in the Senate, with the chamber split 52 to 47. All Democrats who were present and one Republican, who was Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky, voted against the bill. So all the Republicans pretty much voted for the bill, and all the Democrats voted against the bill. So you can just see that really it's split right down the middle on this. You don't have a little bits of sway on either side. There was one Republican that voted against the bill, but Rand Paul kind of, he votes kind of against the party a lot anyways. But, other than that, there wasn't too much, too much bipartisan support at all during this whole entire process. Both sides have not been talking much at all, and it's just dragged on and on and on for what seems like a couple months now. I know that we were talking about this in our videos, a month or two ago, and it just seems like that they're still dragging this out. And, while the tech sector and stuff was doing good, this news wasn't affecting the market too much. But now I think that this is going to start affecting the market more now that stocks and stuff like that are starting to fall.
That's typical politics. They're always going back and forth, back and forth. So, we'll see what happens with this. But either way, it's not a good sign for the market. So while we're coming into elections too, and, the classic political, politics going back and forth with this bill, it's just not a good sign. And then we're kind of falling sharply off of all-time highs, and the tech sector is sliding. There's just not really too much good news in the market right now. And even over the weekend, the U.S. and China were clashing with some more, the semiconductor chip company, Tom, remember?
Yeah, they're clashing over that and TikTok.
Right. Yeah, so overall, there really isn't too much good news right now. So, that just leads us to further believe that the market will most likely fall, especially if it cannot hold the levels right now. Like if we look at the SPY, if it cannot hold these levels around 334, that will not be a good sign. So definitely have your eyes out for that level. So now for our Discord member of the day. And today's member of the day is Fast Roddy. So a huge shout out to you for being a great member of the StockedUp group, and great job with your day trade on BYND today. So great job with that. And thank you for being a great member of the group. So now for our momentum plays for tomorrow. And the first one is GM. It was down about 5.5%. General Motors actually just made that deal with Nikola, which also fell about 11% today. So they're not looking too good right now, but this can definitely be a good momentum trade for tomorrow. So what levels should we be watching?
Yeah, just go ahead and watch for them to pop below $30.
All right, if it breaks below that, we are eyeing it to the downside. And then the next one is XOM.
Yeah, this oil company's been doing terrible lately. Watch for them to fall below 36.75.
Yep, again to the downside. And then we have Walmart, WMT.
Walmart, watch for them to break below 136.50.
Yep, again to the downside. So we are eyeing all of these stocks to the downside only if they break below the levels Tom listed. So now with the $5.4 million put option for next week, we are looking at Apple 110 strike put options. They expire on September 18th. So, I mean, I can definitely see Apple sliding below 110. A lot of it depends on the market overall, but we are seeing weakness in the market right now. And I would say there's a pretty good chance of Apple sliding below the $110 level. You know, it's only $3.50 out of the money. So what do you think about this trade?
Yeah, we're not too far away, like you said, and it looks like they've bounced off of that $110.50 level about twice now. So really it looks like a lot of times they like to say that once you have that third bounce, it might actually break through. So, you know, with this third bounce, I'd like to see it fall below, but like you said, it's gonna have a lot to do with what the tech sector does tomorrow overall as well, or also news with their phones. I know that they actually have an event coming up within a week or two, so maybe that event will help push them back to the upside. But until that event, you know, I'm just going to be bearish on them, just like I am on the overall market.
For sure. So yeah, just keep an eye out for the Apple 110 strike put options for September 18th. If you do get into this, make sure you have a plan. Don't just blindly get in. Make sure you always have a stop loss with any trade you take. But overall, Apple looks pretty good to the downside, especially if the market overall turns to the downside. So, you know, especially if the market overall turns, Apple can be a great setup. So now for our comments from the previous episode. And we have Mr. saying, hey guys, I love your channel. This might be a dumb question, but when you guys talk about your 3 picks and give price points, should I take the stock only on a solid candle, or if it breaks the price period, even if it's just the wick? Also, if the stock is already past your suggested price point in after hours or pre-market, is that a good sign to take an option at opening? Thanks. So great question right here. I'm sure a lot of other people have the same question. So he's referring to the momentum plays that we shared. So like if we look at like General Motors, ExxonMobil, or Walmart, those are the momentum plays for today. So it's a great question. So the first thing is you want to wait at least 5 minutes before 5 minutes after the market opens. You know, the first 5 minutes are extremely volatile, okay? So wait like 5 minutes, okay? After that point, if you see the stock price moving in it, like let's say we're looking at call options, right? And like let's say for simple math, like let's say we are telling stock ABC to break over $100, right? This is just a random example. And let's say it's sitting right at like $99.50, right? And it's 5 minutes after open. If you see it break that $100 level and it's closing above that level, and you know there's good volume and it's moving up, the candles are closing above that level, then it's a good pick, right? If you just see like a wick just slowly go above the level and come back down, it's not the best sign, and it shows weakness. So what you really want to see is you want that candle to close above the level. Personally, I love to use a 5-minute chart for this, but it's not like that important. You could use a 2-minute, you could use a 3-minute, 10-minute, 15-minute, whatever you want. Personally, I love 5-minute charts, especially for day trading. So definitely wait for it to close above the level. And then if it breaks above it in pre-market or after hours, The main thing you want to see is a continuation of momentum. So like, let's say, ABC stock is at, $99 on the day it closes, right? And let's say by the time it opens at 101, right? It can definitely still be a great play. However, just make sure you have that upwards momentum at market open. Like if it opens up and then it just starts tanking, you're not going to want to get in that play. But if it's breaking highs, if it's trending higher, then it can definitely be a great play. But no matter what, you're going to want to wait at least 5 minutes until 5 minutes after the market opens, because there's just too much volatility. Wow, within the first 5 minutes, there's a lot of fake outs. But overall, great question. I'm sure a lot of other people had this question. So we had USA with the next comment saying, thanks guys. Can you guys discuss stocks that channel and how to find them or profit off of their channel moves? Thanks. So absolutely. So I'm gonna have, oh, here we go. Tom already has it pulled up. So head over to finviz.com, click the screener tab, and then click the signal at the top. It says none, and then you're gonna want to scroll down until you see channel. Then you're going to want to click the charts icon right there, right where Tom's cursor is, and you're going to be able to see a list of charts. Okay, it's going to look like that. Make sure it's selected with charts. So I'll let Tom take the rest from here.
Yeah, and this is really nice. You can see how it gives you all types of different support resistances. It'll even give you some pretty nice wedges and triangle patterns on here as well. And one nice thing that you can do is you can pretty much filter this any way you want. You can filter it by industry. So if you wanted to look at, only airports and air services, and then you could switch like the market cap to large. I'm going to take the airports and air services off, but really you can switch the market cap up here to large, and it'll show you like what's bouncing off of that channel right now. So you can see that it has SPOT, which is Spotify. It says that it's bouncing off of its lower channel at around 247.78. So now I'll just go over to Spotify's chart, and I can see that, yeah, it is actually bouncing off of that channel on a daily chart up here.
Yeah, so if you go back to Finviz, and then you can see, just click on Spotify to get a bigger view of the chart. So it'll tell you exactly where the support is and the resistance. So keep that in mind. Finviz is completely free, and there's a lot of other things you can do with Finviz. So Tom, if you can go back to the top where the signal is, you can see that there's channel, but you can select, wedge up. You can select overbought, oversold. You can select, triangle patterns, whatever you want. Like Tom has a wedge right here, but Finviz is completely free, and it's a pretty great resource. So with that being said, Tom, do you have any last minute stocks, options, or any other insight for the market tomorrow?
Really, I think my main insight right now is going to be telling people that this is definitely a pretty scary time to be trading. So if you're a new trader right now, it might be a good time to limit your trades and definitely take lighter positions than usual. Really, the market can go either way right now. So we're going to be watching futures, as they open up in the morning, and, give an update in the morning on what's going on. But really, it's just crazy to see the market doing what it's doing right now. It's not really crazy from a trader's aspect, but it's crazy as far as how much it fell from the virus, how much we recovered, and it's also crazy of how much of a potential we still have to go down here. So with that being said, I'm just saying, if you're a newer trader or an experienced trader even, right now might be the time to limit your trades. And, really it might not be the best idea to, take trades later in the day, or, to take that riskier trade that, you would normally take in a normal market. Right now might be the time to maybe take your one trade a day and then, sit out the rest of the time.
We are definitely in a very volatile market right now, and we are at just very important levels. The S&P 500, it needs to hold these levels or it's not going to be good. Elections are coming up too, so I'm just expecting more volatility for the next couple of weeks. So keep that in mind. Like Tom said, consider taking lighter positions if you are new to the market. We're having a very volatile market right now, so just keep that in mind. As always, guys, if you have any questions, let us know in the comments down below. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for everyone who's been supporting the channel. Thank you guys so much for all the likes, comments, and new subscribers. We really appreciate it. But like I said, any comments, let us know in the comments down below. Other than that, thanks for watching.